At StatClock, we love open source and we also love security. And we feel these two things go together very well. Open, transparent, community-developed code makes for more secure code, I believe. So along that vein, we are open sourcing our new project today, something that we've been working on for a few weeks and we're very excited about. The project is called CodeGate, and CodeGate provides protections to developers that are using AI-based coding assistants. So there are multiple risks that are prevalent with these types of tools and large language models, and we'll see some of these risks play out later on during the demo. Today we're going to set up CodeGate to work with GitHub Copilot, a very popular coding assistant. So we're going to walk through creating CodeGate, setting up the IDE, and then we're going to jump into some code and we're going to see CodeGate working. So CodeGate itself runs locally, and you're going to hear me say that a lot: locally, local, locally, local. We really believe that a developer's privacy, an individual's privacy, is an important thing. So whatever CodeGate does stays on your machine. Whatever CodeGate sees stays on your machine. This is really important because we cannot get insight into your machine. Your machine is not able to dial home. And more than that, it's able to stop other people from accessing secret material that is stored within your machine. And you'll see exactly what I mean by that. But it's really important that you capture this element of we very much believe a privacy-centric, community-based solution is the way to address the problems in this space. So I'm running a Docker container. You can see there's various flags that I've passed here. There is a volume. I need this to persist my database because CodeGate uses a SQLite database, so there's a little file and I want that to persist reboots. There are some ports that are being forwarded. We have 8990. This is the secure TLS endpoint of CodeGate. And there's also a dashboard that's available, a really nice dashboard that's available locally within the machine. So we're forwarding that from port 80 to 9090. So speaking of which, there is one more thing that I need to do. I mentioned that the port 8990 is running TLS, so we need a TLS certificate. Okay, and this acts as a kind of a secure trust system between the coding assistant and CodeGate. So I'm going to add this to my trusted local certificates. Now, this certificate is generated locally. Okay, I said I was going to say that word quite a lot. So it cannot be used as a means for us to connect to your machine or any other machine to connect to you. There are some more details in the dashboard about the certificate. If you prefer not to run a command, you can download it and double click. That does the same thing. And there are some instructions for the different machines here as well that you can utilize. If you're particularly paranoid, you could even create your own certificate using the OpenSSL command line utility. It's an X509 certificate and you can make it however you want. Now, what we want to do next is, because we're using Copilot, we're going to need to set up VS Code to point towards CodeGate. So if we look at my VS Code configuration, you'll see that I'm pointing to localhost HTTPS, which is this secure endpoint that we've discussed. And we have some various other values such as strict SSL and some particular Copilot configurations that are needed. Now that we have that set up, what we are going to need to do is have some code to play with. So I have a repository here that I'm going to open. And we can see that Copilot is there, it's ready to go, and we have some code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this code and I'm going to add it to the relatively new feature of add selection for Copilot edits. Now I would just ask a generic review my code, and that will then be handled by Copilot. And we can see that there is in fact a response coming back that looks somewhat rather different. So we have CodeGate has detected one or more malicious, deprecated or archived packages. The particular packages invoke HTTP. And if you look at our insight system and we open that, you'll notice that this is in fact a malicious package. This is one that was captured by our threat research team. It was around 2 months ago, and some believed to be North Korean state attackers were targeting developers with mock interviews. So they would contact developers on LinkedIn. They would say, clone this code, run it, bang, your machine is backdoored effectively. And this is one of the things that we sensed with our SCA systems, and we brought this down. We bring many packages down like this. And what we're effectively doing is we are augmenting data for GitHub Copilot to understand what is the current risks that are present within the open source supply chain. Because large language models have a problem, and their problem is their knowledge cutoff. Okay, these models cost a lot of money to train. Okay, a lot of GPUs and a lot of electricity. So they have a somewhat dated view of the world, and they don't know what packages are now malicious. They don't know what packages are deprecated, no longer maintained. So we're able to give that freshness so that you have these protections around not being backdoored by these particularly nasty packages. Now we can also see that CodeGate has given us some recommendations of a better library to use. So it's recommending requests, and anybody that develops in Python will know requests very well. This is a very safe, well-maintained package. So I can accept that and bang, the risk has gone. I'm now using a lot better system, and I have a lot more protections in place. Now, the second thing that we're going to look at is I'm just going to remove this from here. I'm going to close this old conversation, and I'm going to load a different file. So I'm going to take a conf file. Okay, what could go wrong with a conf.ini? Well, let's have a look. Please review the structure of my conf file. Okay, and again, this is being processed by CodeGate, and we can see there's some extra details here. Okay, so CodeGate has actually prevented 3 secrets from being leaked by our machine. Okay, now if we look at conf.ini, you'll see that there's actually been a change that's been recommended here. Before this, there were some secrets there. Okay, and these particular secrets would have been sent off to the cloud typically. But what's happened is CodeGate was able to intercept those, and then we use encryption to redact the sensitive materials, the cryptographic strings. These then can go off to the cloud. The LLM can come back with some recommendations for code changes. It comes back, CodeGate intercepts it, it unencrypts the strings, and they come back to your machine as they were originally. So you don't have to do anything. You get these protections on the fly. And what's actually happening is CodeGate is making some recommendations on a better way to do this, which is to use environment variables. But if I do Control-Z undo, you'll see those are the original secrets that we were able to protect. And as I said, behind the scenes, these things are automatically redacted for you, and then they are unredacted on return. So that's one of the many features that we have. There is also full support for auto completion. All of these typical coding flows work, but we are also able to protect those to make sure that the machine doesn't come back with some code that is potentially malicious. So you get these protections on the fly. So the great thing is you can get on with writing code and shipping releases, and then CodeGate has got your back effectively, so that you do not unwittingly leak secrets or ingest something malicious. You can safely use these tools. This is just the beginning. We intend to build this in the open. We would love for other people to get involved. Let us know how you use CodeGate. We've got lots more exciting features that are going to be coming online over the coming weeks. Like I said earlier, there'll be many more IDEs that we'll be supporting. We're looking to support all of the very popular coding assistant tools out there, some of the agentic frameworks. So there's going to be a lot of exciting stuff happening. Come to codegate.ai. You'll be able to find our repository from there. You'll be able to get documentation. You'll be able to find our Discord link. Come along, get involved. Let's have fun. Let's make this more secure for all of us. Thank you for your time.